soft entrance. We are back with yet another episode of Art of the Jam. I apologize if I seem a little melancholy this episode, as I'm having one of those days, to be honest. And that day, I'm having one of those weeks. And sometimes in the dark annals of my bedroom and my soul, I feel like it's one of those years. It just seems like there's some sort of aspects in my life that are drawing near to an end, career-wise or whatever, and so it's difficult, and it just seems like sometimes, every time I hit the record button for an episode, every time I hit the record button, it just seems like it's getting closer and closer to the last one, and so it's kind of difficult to say. So, guys, give me a minute. Guys, real hard. Guys, this is actually, I wanted to start this episode with a new segment I like to call Fake Bait. And this is where I fake some sort of scene. I should have said it, I forgot to say it. And scene. But obviously, I was off, so I couldn't, I forgot what my own thing was. I forgot what my own shtick was. But I'm saying, this was a new segment that I wanted to start the show with called Fake Bait. And it's where I fake some sort of emotion or do something, and you never know if I'm telling the truth now. From this point on, I call it a Willy Wonka your ass, a Gene Wilder your ass, for the sake of clickbait. So this'll make a clip, and then you'll hopefully fall for it. It'd be fucking hilarious. But guys, welcome back to yet another episode of Art of the Jam. And also, I have to say, hopefully I did fool you, because why would I say give me a minute and then leave that part I would have just not released the episode. You know what I mean? It's like, why would I have done that and then kept it in there? That's just tomfoolery. But guys, like I said, we are back with yet another episode of Art of the Jam. This is episode number 132. And in the tradition, I always do have a question for you, audience. But before we get to the question, don't forget to guess that band, obviously. And I already gave you the explanation on the last episode. So if you want an explanation if you insist on an explanation for a segment whose name explains the concept of the thing, go back and watch that episode, which is the last episode. And guys, don't forget, I'm constantly leaning. I need to figure out a different little thing, but don't forget to guess that band, find that phantom, guys. And if you, obviously, if you find that phantom and you use the correct timestamp and you comment it, I will pin it to the top, and you will be entered for a chance to win some Phantom Sam or Art of the Jam merch. So far, only one person has actually participated in that, and I really appreciate that. But, guys, I'm just here in my basement alone talking to a fucking camera, and that's fun, too. I don't mind. Someday you'll find this, maybe 10 years from now, and hopefully you'll get a kick out of it. Or I'll just show this to my grandchildren, and we'll just laugh at how fucking cringy I am. That was a very cringe intro. But anyways, guys, don't forget to guess that band, find that phantom, and submit those uncles, butch aunts, or just fucking shitty cousins. That's always a good time. But in lieu of my fake bait old trickery, I have one thing to say, and that is Phantom Sam Art of the Jam is brought to you by Phantom Sam's word of the week, chicanery. Now, chicanery is a noun, and it means deception by artful subterfuge or sophistry. I feel like every word in that definition needs its own definition. I have no idea why I chose such a complicated word. Honestly, because chicanery just sounds fun. But chicanery, it's a fancy word for trickery, okay? And I will use it in a sentence for you guys, but my sentence is, with the use of pharmaceuticals and a keen sense of chicanery, the CIA created cult leader Charles Manson to coerce a gaggle of hippie bandits into doing their bidding and attempting to incite a race war. Chicanery. That's always fun. But, guys, in the, chicanery. So, as to do with trickery, I will say the question today is in the same vein, in that trickery vein, okay? And that is our question for you today, audience, is whether it was a planned prank, a knock of a golden opportunity. Let me start this over. I'm going to be honest, the intro was so fucking cringy to me that it just threw me off this whole fucking thing, so, ooh. But guys, whether it was a planned prank, all in good fun, the knock of a golden opportunity, or you're just a fucking psychopath, what is an instance in which you successfully tricked someone? Ooh, yeah, guys. Successful trickery. Yeah, so what's your own example of some of your own chicanery? Maybe you got some chicanery just on your own. Is that Phantom Sam's made up word of the week? Ownsome? I guess that's just lonesome without the L. I mean, it would honestly mean the same thing. God, this episode's turning into a fucking nightmare so far. But guys, whether it was planned, prank, all in good fun, the knock of a golden opportunity, or you're just plain fucking psycho, what is an instance in which you successfully tricked someone? That being said, cue the intro.
Guess that band. Guess that band. Guess.
Guys, and we are back from the intro. I hope you find it in your heart to go and actually let me know. I feel like there's a lot of people out there that are probably not going to comment or answer that question at all, because why the hell would you out yourself, especially if you are of the third option there, a fucking psychopath, and you did something that was rather fucking incriminating, you know what I mean? What happens if you why would you out yourself? Why would you tell people about that, you know? But it is what it is. I do have a couple of little stories of my own chicanery, my own trickery here, and some of them were deceitful. Well, actually, there's both of them are pretty deceitful. I'm going to be honest, but it was in good fun, and both of them. I was very, very young. Okay, the first one I will start with was a game, and I may have mentioned this on the show before, but I talk about this all the time because it is the one thing in my life that I feel the worst about. Other than that time that I did I was convinced to steal a bottle of Louisiana hot sauce from my buddy's pantry by another buddy, and then I felt so bad about it that I brought it back the next day and didn't tell him. And so, yeah, if you're missing if you were at one point wondering where your Louisiana hot sauce was, and then you found it the next day exactly where you left it before the day that it got stolen, and you were like, "Whoa, is this some sort of glitch in the Matrix?" Yeah, that wasn't a glitch in the Matrix. That was my fucking five-finger. I fucking stole it, dude, and I'm sorry. Okay, this was also, I was in the middle of my shitbird phase, and I was like 16. But anyways, guys, I was but a wee lad, like 6 or 7 years old, and me and my brothers, I have 3 older brothers, okay? So honestly, they had it coming, but we were playing a game of mousetrap, right? And we were, there was no way, when you're a little boy, there's no way that your 3 older brothers are gonna let you win shit, okay? So I'm sitting there and I'm rolling we're rolling the dice, we're playing mousetrap, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, oh man, I'm 2 spots away and they're all under the cage. Every single one of my brothers is, if you don't know how mousetrap works, it's a bunch of little contraptions, and then one of the spots is right beneath a cage that will drop, and if you land on the spot that if you land on the spot that triggers the contraption that drops the cage, whoever gets caged fucking loses, right? And then you win. And I realized, I was like, oh, all 3 of my brothers are under the cage, and I need to roll a 2. So I had to get a snake eyes, okay? And I was 2 spots away, looking for a snake eyes, and my brothers weren't looking, and one of them had rolled, like thrown them to me, but like didn't hand them to me. He like tossed them to me, and they landed on snake eyes. And nobody saw it, so I was like, I win. I got the snake eyes. And so I won, and I felt real bad about it because I fucking lied. I think that was, now that I think about that wasn't really trickery. That was just plain fucking deceit. I think that was the fucking psychopath part. Maybe I'm the psychopath? I kind of feel like it today. Today I've had a real rough go of things. I'm going to be honest. I'm dealing with a bunch of fucking emotions that I don't know how to fucking feel about. I don't know how to decipher some feelings. And it's some sort of like anxious and anger. I like to slam my fists on things and do all sorts of weird shit. But guys, my other one is, this was kind of a prank, but it was pretty deceitful. Whenever I was like 16, okay, and it's kind of funny because the girl that we pranked is my fiance Nichelle's older sister, and at the time, obviously, me and Nichelle weren't together. I don't even know if we really knew each other, but I knew her older sister, and she was dating my buddy, and we're all hanging out at his house in his driveway, and she gets dropped off by a friend, and she's drunk, and that's funny. So it's like prime time, right? And so he had one of these like ragtag fucking like I don't know if you know, it was almost like a stoner garage where it was like just random fucking objects were used as chairs. Like there was somebody sitting on, like, you know, you had the big fucking, everybody had the clubhouse wire spool as like a little table, but then there was like a fucking a stool, a fucking like soapbox, and like a wheelchair, right? It was like one of those, like everybody was sitting in something that didn't need to, that wasn't made to be sat in. I mean, I guess a wheelchair is to be sat in, I guess, but my buddy was sitting in this wheelchair, and was like just rolling around on it, doing like wheelies and shit, and we're like just hanging out and whatever. And so she shows up and she's drunk, and so we're like, dude, she hasn't seen you in forever. Let's because we hadn't seen her in a while, and so we were like, and she was so drunk that she asked her boyfriend, who was our buddy, asked us what happened to him and why is he in a wheelchair, even though he was just sitting there in the wheelchair just having a fucking time. And so we were like, this is prime time. We were like, he got into an accident a couple months ago, and he's wheelchair bound. He's stuck in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. And yes, cue the disclaimer. Okay, I'm going to be honest, though. That disclaimer doesn't excuse our blatant adolescent fucking cruelty. So, but, like I said, we were all used to be pieces of shit to some degree. But she, after a while, she accepts it, and she's drunk, and she's sitting there, and she's talking to her buddy, and it was like, dude, I almost said his name, but I was like, dude, you should while she's not looking, you should get up out of the wheelchair and come up behind her and just be like, and just start talking to her like nothing's the matter. She turned around and she jumped back like to her back, like from standing. She was so scared because she thought that he was fucking in a wheelchair. And so she jumps back and she lands like on her fucking back. Like she's just like, ah! Like throws herself. And yeah, it was so funny, even though she got up and immediately was so mad about it that she like bit her boyfriend's nose. And that was fucking weird. Yeah. I've mentioned this story to her as well, and she doesn't remember it, but whatever. It was funny. It was really funny then, not as funny now, thinking back of how cruel it was, but you know, it is what it is. Also, I did have this is why I'm saying I have a tough go. Is I also had a fucking, in lieu of the fucking trickery thing, I had an album of the week that I totally forgot to bring down here, but I will put a picture of it right there. And it over there maybe, I don't know, it'll be somewhere, but it's a it was a oh my god, it's like you'll see what it is. I thought it was awesome fucking Afrobeat music. My actually Space Camp got it for me at a show a long time ago. He bought, because the venue also had records for sale. He got me this record, and I was like, dude, this is some fucking cool, crazy Afrobeat shit. And then it ends up being tribal house music, like Cuban fucking house music, which is quite the opposite of what I enjoy. So, yeah. Chicanery at its finest. But guys, you know, I do we have a new segment of the show, and but this is what's crazy is I always have these thoughts about like, man, what's I have like a thought for like, man, I wish this crazy invention would I wish I had this crazy contraption. Like, I don't know what it is. Sometimes I'll see something, I'll be like, you know what would really make this fucking pop off is this fucking contraption. But I don't have any way of fabricate. I can fabricate things. I can't invent things. So I invented a workshop of wonders, because I can do that on my own show. I can invent anything that I want. So guys, this is a segment of the show that I like to call Inventions That Almost Make Sense. Because I'm going to be honest, I am not an inventor. I think of stuff, I'm like, man, that'd be fucking wild if that fucking thing was real. But like I said, I can only fabricate things, and then when they come out to the surface, it doesn't quite meet the criteria of to solve an issue, okay? So guys, why don't you please follow me to my workshop of wonders, and we will take a look at my newest invention. Follow me. Guys, thank you for following me to my workshop of wonders. That was a crazy hallway, don't you think? Holy fucking shit. I am dizzy and a little bit nauseous, but guys, behold, I bring you my newest and finest invention, okay? I bring to you the clap-activated guitar amplifier. Here's the rundown. You have your standard run-of-the-mill guitar amplifier. Attached at the top are two state-of-the-art clap catchers. What's a clap catcher, you ask? A clap catcher is pretty straightforward, okay? You clap, and through means of a transfer of energy, the claps caught become current, which then triggers the on-off switch, essentially. So, it functions as so. You clap, it comes off. You clap, it turns off. Any questions? The only downside is you kind of have to keep it to the bedroom or pray for a vengeful audience, because that's the only way it's going to work in a live application. Oops. Guys, thank you for following me to my workshop of wonder to gander at my carefully crafted concoctions and inventions that only begin to make sense. Let's get back to the show, shall we? Wasn't that fucking clever as shit? That was some wild stuff. And I hope you like the new scenery. I got a whole warehouse now. It's not just this. It's not just what you see. I have a whole thing, and there's another bit later, and we'll go that way, and I'll show you what's that way and down that hallway. It's just a wild slew of corridors and canals and catwalks and all sorts of just, it's just a wonderland here, and you should come on and you should check it out. You should just go on this journey with me. But guys, I hope you enjoyed that. But also, I do have another segment, right? And so this is the segment I like to call Honest Mistakes. This is the segment of the show where I have misheard, misread, or just plain brain flubbed lyrics, quotes, references, or just statements from everyday conversations, okay? And this one is a very short one. Okay, so Nichelle likes to watch these shows, and I honestly, it's a guilty pleasure, so I am saying we watch these shows. And there's this show, it's where they go on yachts and whatnot, and it's called Below Deck, okay? And it's on Peacock. I forgot what it's like on the CW or something, Bravo or something on cable, whatever cable is nowadays. But we were watching Below Deck, and there was a flamboyantly gay man on there who was doing a drag show on the yacht, and he had mentioned, he's like, somebody was like, oh, what? And the guy's name was Tyler, and they're like, what is this, Tyler Paul's Drag Race? And in my head, I was like, that's not right. Isn't it Rand Paul's drag? And then I was like, oh, wait, I just said Rand Paul's Drag Race instead of RuPaul's Drag Race. But I thought that was funny, and so I made a segment out of it. So, not only did I plain brain plug a lyric, quote, reference, or statement in everyday conversation, I made a fun animation out of it, or picture, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. So check that out. That is Rand Paul's Drag Race. We're having fun, guys. Let's keep the show moving, okay? And this is the segment of the show where, what am I trying to say? I will go ahead and we'll do the weekend recap here. So this it's actually not a weekend recap because we didn't have a weekend recap. I didn't do shit this weekend because I'm just trying to get everything with the band up to snuff. But We have our first show this Saturday, which is the day that this probably airs. If not, the week before this airs, we will have our first show as a reformed band. We still are scheduled for a tour in late June, and I do have to say, actually, there is something that I did do this weekend. I watched that movie Eternity with Miles Teller and the third Olsen twin, and let's be honest, is debatable. Not even debatably. Let's be honest, she's a far better actress than any of the Olsen twins ever could have imagined to be. Even though they were kind of child stars, and child stars kind of fizzle out. And that's just the way that the cookie crumbles. But he kind of fucked me up, I'm gonna be honest, and it's made me feel all sorts of. It's the whole concept of the movie is interesting, okay? Because when you go to the afterlife, you have to choose. Well, I guess in their specific nuanced situation, their specific situation, she was married previously as like a youngster, and then he dies in the war, and then she remarries, and she's with that guy for like 65 plus years, okay? And so when she goes to the afterlife, when you go to the afterlife, you get to pick a certain world you want to go to, like racist land, clown land, beach land. But once you choose, you can't leave that eternity ever, right? But you can also choose to be with your spouse for the rest of eternity, or you can choose to be without them. Like, you can go to separate places, or you can go to a place together. But in their specific situation, the previous man that died in the war, in the Korean War, he waited 60 years for her to die, and so they could be together, right? So he waited for her. But the thing is, she is tasked with, she either has to go to an eternity alone, or she can spend eternity with a man that waited 65 years for her, or with her husband whom she had for 65 years. And this is the thing, is the question of this whole thing is like, what's the choice? It's like, what would you do? It's like, would you be with somebody that you spent every day of your life with for 65 years, whom you love unconditionally, and yes, you bicker with, but you know the ins and outs, you know every button, you know everything about them, and there's some solace in that? Or would you be with somebody that you never really had a chance with? It's like, to me, there's no fucking decision to be made. And it just made me think, like, about past relationships of mine, and then being with Michelle, and it's like, there's no question. Like, I wouldn't pick anybody else. I don't know. It just really fucked me up, and it made me start thinking about eternity, not the movie, but eternity in general. Like, I know there's a lot of people out there that, especially in the music realm, I have a lot of people that are like, don't get married. Like, don't get married. That's the worst mistake you'll ever make. Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, dude, you don't understand. Okay. I have never been happier in my life. And I don't think that I ever could be unhappy with what I have, because it's worth so much to me that I value it so much that it's worth working on if something were to ever happen. Like, I'm fucking in love. I'm fucking in love. Yep. That's just the way that's the way it is. But guys, we are going to cut to a new segment of the show. We're going to take a little break, okay? And this is what I was going to say. We're in this wondrous warehouse of fucking whimsy and and enjoy. Okay, and so I went that way, right? And I showed you the workshop of wonders, but this way we're gonna go to my library. Okay, and this is where we have Story Corner. Okay, that's a working title, so it's just gonna be in like plain font because I don't know what the segment's gonna be called. Actually, I'll disclose the name of the segment in there, okay? But we'll just, for right now, let's just put Story Corner or something. Just scribbles or something. I don't fucking know. But guys, follow me. And now, Nursery Rhymes of the Times. Why, hello, everyone. Thank you for your patience and participation. If you're a fan of social and cultural shifts, unavoidable and imminent disasters and doomsayings, writings on the walls, and signs of the times described in nursery rhyme style, well, you've come to the right place, because I don't do this very often. Honestly, this is the first and probably will be the last, depending on how this performs. So please, hush, and let me get on with it. But before we begin, if you are a fan, please kill the subscribe button's entire family in a tragic house fire and give the like button AIDS. And now, let's get to the rhymes.
Will Mr. Trumpet.
Little Mr. Trumpet set on his red button, threatened to press if he doesn't get his way. He pissed in your face and told you it's rain, alluding to gas prices and groceries the same. He will stage an assassin, but no need to be grim, 'cause if you give it a week, he'll just grow back his limbs. He gawks like he's God with propagandist motifs, brushing it off for the offended and the meek. But he will whine and he'll cry about the TV guy who made a silly joke at his expense. Yet he will lie and deny what he didn't think you'd find of his name on that infamous list. To gaslight the masses with his regime of fascists, filling his pockets with the sweat of citizens, and reap no repercussions because whatever your fuss is, he'll just blame it on immigrants. So despite all the faking and low approval ratings, his role remains to be fleeting. Unless little Mr. Trumpet sits on his red button, leaving the world as a whole to pay his toll, now dull and lifeless, lest only dreaming. Let's get back to the show. And we're back, guys. How was that? That was a nice little stroll. I mean, we went through a little courtyard over there to my library has its own little building, okay? And that one was actually no, scratch that. That one had a courtyard to a cool outdoor workshop, and that side had a cool little fucking hallway to a library of fucking wonder. I don't fucking know. I keep saying wonder. It's wonderful, okay? Chill, all right? I know this episode is fucking awful, but let's just stick with it, okay? Because you can't win them all, okay? I've had one. I keep saying that. But anyways, guys, we are back here, and I'm going to just start off here with a hot take, all right? And my scalding hot take is pretty much, do the blender settings really even do anything different? I'm going to be honest. There's puree, there's chop, there's milkshake, there's smoothie, but it's all the same fucking blade. Okay? I'm slightly echoing when I say this, but there's only one blade, It can't do much different things. It can't do many different things, okay? It could just fucking... The only thing I notice is when you press, like, milkshake, it just moves a little slower. It doesn't fucking do anything different. It's all doing the same thing. So why are we still doing this? I think the two different things that it has is on, slow, fast, and pulse. Just make that. Just have it do those three things. Okay? And I'm aware there's probably all these like souped up fucking blenders nowadays that probably only do those three things. Okay? Just make those. Stop making the other ones. Okay? Why do you have to put a bunch of other options on there? Okay? It's just depressing. Whenever you have you have too many options, you get fucking depressed. And I don't want that. It's like, oh man, I don't know if I should fucking ice chop this smoothie for icy drink. Should I wait? A smoothie and a fucking icy drink are kind of the same thing. A fucking milkshake is kind of the same thing as a smoothie. They're all the same thing. It's a fucking conspiracy, okay? Blender setting conspiracy. Hashtag that shit, even though there's probably no hashtag for that. It'll be like 3 different people. But, guys... Blender settings don't fucking mean shit, okay? It's a big ruse, okay? But guys, that just leads me into my next fucking segment. Trends in an attempt to relate. This is the segment of the show where I use current events and I always forget this spiel here. But trends in an attempt to relate is where I use current events and trends in an attempt to be popular and get the rightful use of the top hashtags. Google Trends, thank you, fucking robot, for giving me things that I need for my show. But guys, first order of business is the Mars rover Curiosity found organic compounds on Mars, and I think that's kind of fucking crazy, okay? They're like 3 billion years old, and it's like this is the thing is what made me think of this, or what made me use this as my first trend, is because they're like, well, it could be the building blocks of life. We found organic compounds in this soil and from this mountain and shit. But it also could be created by what do you say that? How do you say that? Non-biological processes, such as like volcanic activity and meteorites. Okay, but this is the other thing, right? So if there's building blocks of life on Mars, and it could be from volcanic activity or meteorites, there's just meteors flying around with little microscopic life on it and just hitting stuff and being like, that's kind of like a fucking planet Mars getting impregnated by meteorites. Mars and meteorites with a heart around it. They fucking... I don't know. Anyways, but I thought that was kind of crazy. So they're like, this could mean that there used to be life on there, and the radiation has just like preserved these organic compounds for 3 billion years. For one, that's kind of crazy that life could survive for 3 billion years. But also, it's like, you know, like I said, it could be non-biological processes that created it. So is this not past life, or is it the beginning of life? Like, is life trying to manifest on Mars? Or is life long dead and is trying to survive? Interesting question. So, release that fucking Mars rover. Let us know what that's all about. But trend number 2, guys. And this is also, a lot of these have to do with space, I feel like. But the Artemis 2 moon mission, okay? We haven't been to the moon since 1972. That's 50 some odd years, okay? And which is kind of weird, because I've mentioned in a past episode that we've we lost the technology to go to the moon, so apparently we found it again. I spy with my little eye the technology to go to the moon. Oh shit, it's right there. We found it. Anyways, but Artemis 2 moon mission, they went to they did a flyby that was 9 to 10 days, right? But the weird thing about it is I seen this video of an interview with the one of the female astronauts that went up there, and she was giving like a press conference, like a briefing after they got back, I believe, and she was talking about how like what she's seen up there and shit, like what the Earth set, which I thought was a cool fucking word, like sunset, but Earth set, moon set. Anyways, but she was talking about the Earth set. And she was like, this is what it looked like, blah, 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 blah. But then she just pauses, and she's just like hanging there in this awkward silence. And there's speculation that she forgot. She could have either done one of three things, right? She could have forgot what she was talking about, which that's the most human thing, to be honest with you. And then there was... she realized that she had said something that contradicts the narrative, which I thought was a little less likely, but fun to think about, right? And then there was, how do you say, contradicts the narrative, or I think that was it, honestly. I think there wasn't one of three things. I think there was just one of two things. But, yeah, what was it? Give me a second real quick. There was also speculation that she had an earpiece in and they were telling her what to say. And, that's kind of, fucking sketchy. It's like, why do you need... I get you probably can't have the freedom to say whatever you want, but... I think that's kind of absurd that they would be telling you what to say. They should just be like, you should not say this, okay? I feel like that should be it, not telling you exactly what to say. But yeah, I feel like maybe like she said something that she shouldn't have, and she's like, oh shit, or whatever. I feel like there was a third one. If I remember it, I'll come back to it. But guys, the third trend here is I mentioned this in another episode, and I think it was the same episode that I mentioned the moon thing in, but there's Andy Weir. He wrote a short story called The Egg, and they have like a fucking wild ass... It was trending for some reason, and I was like, whoa, why is Andy Weir trending? And then it was like, there's a 8-minute short film on YouTube that is of Andy Weir's The Egg, which if you don't know what The Egg is, go back and watch this episode, or if I didn't explain it good enough, go and watch this, which is that short film, The Egg. And it's basically, The Egg is about a guy who dies in a car accident, and he is met with by God, and God basically explains to him that he is everybody, and we are all the same body. And so you, in order to complete a full circle human experience, you have to live every life in every time on earth before you ascend to God status, to a whole new plane of existence that we can't understand. If that sounds appealing to you, go watch that fucking film. Or just read the book. Or the short story, I guess. You could probably find it online. I might be able to find it for you, but you know what? Go fucking find it and read it, because it's fucking wild. Or watch that video so you don't have to read, because I know a lot of people are like, I don't want to read. I want to listen to audiobooks or whatever, but not saying you can't read, but some people don't have the time to read. They'd rather just fucking... And it's a short story, dude. It's 8 minutes long. I'm pretty sure you could probably read it faster than the video can be watched. So go ahead and go do that. But guys, I think that actually might be it for this episode, guys. Let me double check here, and maybe I'll get the fuck out of here. But yeah, guys, it really it looks like that might be it for this episode. I thought that I would have more for you. I thought I'd have more. I can't remember the other Artemis 2 thing. Like why? I feel like there was another reason why she fucking why she did that. It was just so awkward. Go find the video of her like awkwardly hanging out. So, guys, that being said, this has been yet another episode of Art of the Jam, okay? And we're going to live with cause. We're going to leave results to the great law of the universe, and we're going to pass each and every day in peaceful contemplation, patience, and all the while remaining present in our lives. So, go outside, touch some grass, hug some trees, pet your wife, kiss your dog, and fucking be you. And fucking, you know what? Figure out those feelings. Figure out why you're having a bad day, or just have the bad day, because you know what, there's brighter days to come. I hope. I say that, and I'm literally in my back of my head, I'm like, shut the fuck up, don't tell them that, because my own ego and my own bad feelings are telling me that. Not saying that you shouldn't believe that brighter days are to come. I'm saying it to make you feel better, but I am trying so hard to believe that myself, and it's hard, man. Being a human being is fucking hard sometimes, okay? Sometimes I drink too much coffee, and I'm like, why am I so fucking anxious and so tired, or so fucking anxious and angry all the time, and screaming at everybody that I love? It's because I've had fucking 2 buckets of coffee. I've had a barrel of coffee. I don't know how much that is. You do the math. But I made some fucking bomb-ass lentil bread that I'm going to go fucking just slam nom and enjoy. So, guys, that being said, let me play you off. What we talk about today, art of the jam. Art of the jam. Art of the jam. I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling this. But I gotta do what I'm gonna do. I'm not feeling this.
It's Tom Jones.
I'm not feeling this, but I gotta do what I gotta do. Art of the jam. Art of the jam. Heart of the jam, I'm not feeling it. The hot take, I don't believe that the blender has separate settings. I think that the puree chop and smoothies do the same things. Do the same old things. Do the same old things, yeah. Have you ever pranked your friends? Ever pranked your friends? Yeah, or are you just a fucking psychopath? Have you ever done it in good fun? Are you a fucking psychopath? Ever done it in good fun, or it was just a golden opportunity? I'm really sorry if you I'm really sorry if you, I'm really sorry if you fell for my fake bait. I'm not feeling it, yeah. I'm not feeling it, yeah. I'm not feeling it, but I'm doing it. I'm not feeling it, but I'm really hanging in there. I'm not feeling it, and I'm gonna be honest with myself, and I'm being honest with my mistakes. Rand Paul's Drag Race. Rand Paul's Drag Race. Art of the Jam. Art of the Jam. Art of the Jam. Thank you guys for listening.